Yo, what's up guys? Yeah, pokeaim here, coach of the Bronx Beartics with my week 2 team builder for the P4G. This time we're taking on my boy Drew, aka MrTalent, coach of the New York Marauders. Now, Drew has a really threatening team, and he actually has like 2 amazing switch-ins to Zygarde. I think he has one of the best switch-ins to Zygarde, which is Chestnut. And then he also has Mudsdale. And Mudsdale is really solid just because of its stamina ability, so if Fizdef Mudsdale will just keep boosting its defense every single time I touch it. The idea going into this game originally was building a team that allows Choice Band Zygarde to put in a lot of work, but I ended up changing that just because in a test game with Zazo, I used Choice Band Zygarde, I got a KO, and then Belly Drum Chestnut came in and swept me. So I decided to change it up a little bit. But yeah, he has a bunch of threats. Alolan Marowak, Durant is a huge threat, Heliolisk. And the crazy thing is about those teams, or those Pokemon, are that they don't have to run plus speed natures versus me, because my highest speed tier is Zygarde, which hits 361, you know, obviously at level 100. A little bit less at level 50. Well, a lot less at level 50. And Durant and Heliolisk with modest nature, with adamant nature, outspeed the majority of my team, because it goes Zygarde, Tauros, and then Durant and Heliolisk are right under those by 2 points anyway, so they can afford to go adamant, because right after that it drops all the way down to like Mesprit. So speed tier wise, he can definitely run boosting natures on his Mon, and that makes them giant threats. He has Lycanroc Midday, which can run the Z move for it. Clefairy, which can be scary too if it starts calm minding up enough or getting up rocks. And then Pokemon like Sigilyph can either be Focus Sash or Life Orb. I think that his best 6 versus me are definitely some variation of Chestnut, Mudsdale, Durant. And then from there, it's really a toss-up between how he wants to play. If he wants Hazard support and control, he wants Blastoise. Alolan Marowak, while it hits everything hard, it doesn't switch in too well to literally anything on my team. So that's a little bit iffy. Sigilyph is a great Pokemon as well. Can deal with Roserade as well as Seismitoad in one. With Energy Ball, Air Slash, Psychic. Those are obviously ways I could deal with it. Focus Sash is also a nice one to stop Calm Mind. You can also run some sort of Cosmic Power set too, which is why I'm definitely bringing Incineroar this week. But again, the game plan was let Zygarde be able to do a lot, but I had to switch that up just because of in testing it didn't go so well. So another thing I want to note is that I did make this team myself again, but I also had some input from Matty Brolic and Gypsy King, so I want to give them a big shout out. And as well as to the people who helped me test, Zazo, Styx, and I don't think Aki actually tested with me this week, but still big shout out to him too, because he's cool. But yeah, so Zygarde has a great speed tier in this game. As much as I can get away with running Adamant Zydog, which I'm pretty positive I could, since I knew that Heliolisk, Durant, and Lycanroc, I know that they don't have to run Jolly Nature. Well, in Lycanroc's case, it should run Jolly Nature because it should want to outspeed Tauros, I think, because it can. But in Durant and in Helios' case, Adamant would work. I decided on Jolly Life or Zygarde. 1,000 Arrows just hits his team really hard, being able to deal with, obviously, Marowak, Swalot, dropping his Sigilyph on the ground and whatnot, checking Lycanroc. I am fast in that, so it works as a revenge killer. But again, I didn't want to go Choice Band. I changed it to Earth Plate, and Gypsy King was like, why not use Life Orb? Sludge Wave. I was like, well, why don't I take it a step higher and use the Hidden Power Flying? Hidden Power Flying to Offensive Chestnut. 1,000 Arrows into Hidden Power Flying knocks out Offensive Chestnut. Defensive Chestnut is guaranteed to a KO'd by Hidden Power Flying. I have Extreme Speed as well to check something like maybe Scarf Heliolisk or a boosted Chestnut as well. Like the entire team is designed to weaken that boy to the point of E-Speed if it is a problem, and also that he doesn't set up on the majority of my team. And then I have Haze. Now Haze is a last-ditch effort type of thing. Maybe if I have like Zygarde plus another physical attacker versus Mudsdale, and the Mudsdale already has its stamina risen, quite a good amount to the point that it's out of range of close combat from Hariyama. Haze is nice to be able to deal with that. It's also nice for like a last-ditch effort type of Combine Clefairy type of thing, or Combine Sigilyph type of thing. If I can live the hit, like maybe if I let my Incineroar get too low and he's like under, I don't know, he has like speed or maybe I don't know. Like Haze is just nice as a secondary or a nice check to those type of things. Like I didn't really need any other move besides 1,000 Arrows, Extreme Speed, and Hidden Power Flying. So Haze is just a nice check. Combine Clef, Stamina Mudsdale can help me hopefully help my team deal with it. But enough speed to outspeed his Lycanroc midday form. Rest pumped into attack and then special attack. Hidden Power Flying is legal on this Pokemon. I checked, level 100. There is a combination of Hidden Power Flying IVs that does allow you to have, and this is the combination, it does allow you to have 3 perfect IVs because that's what you need. For Zygarde, that's the only way you can make it legal, 3, and then 3 imperfect, which is fine. And then, you know, obviously you can do the hyper training and make it whatever. So this is completely legal. Now, I had 2 variations of the team, as you guys can see. But I ended up going more so with this one since I like the pure power and the ability to deal with Clef, since Clef could be an issue. Speaking of Clef, we have Bulk Up Hariyama. Now, I actually decided to change it up and bring this Pokemon just because it did well so well last week. I want to see if I can get some more KOs with it. I want to see if I can make a KO later. But we have Hariyama, Bulk Up Hariyama, Sheer Force. Now, I'm running Sheer Force because +1 Bulk Up, Life Orb, Sheer Force, Poison Jab, Oko's, Max Defense Clefairy. It does like 80% to Max Defense Chestnut. And this really opens up that door for Zygarde. And then knockoff at +1 knocks out Marowak. Close Combat can knock out a max HP Mudsdale if it's just max HP. Close Combat deals with Dragonair. It's bulky enough to deal with Dragonair even if it gets +1. Blastoise takes like 87% minimum if it's fully fizzed up to +1 Bulk Up. Close Combat. I have enough speed to outspeed a 0 speed investment Blastoise. Chestnut, that's not running too much speed. And Marowak, Adamant max speed. So enough for that. And I could have been running like Force Palm. Well, Low Sweep would probably be the one because it's boosted by Sheer Force. But just Close Combat, the power that Close Combat has, I don't mind, you know, raising my stats just to lower them. Just because the power that a Bulk Up boosted Close Combat has is immeasurable. Only other one that would be better would be Choice Spam. But that relies on prediction. And the reason I'm going like Poison Jab over Heavy Slam, again, I already mentioned. But hitting Chestnut and Clefairy for the Oko with Violet at +1 and Chestnut for 80% is ridiculous. Especially if I'm bulked up enough. Like Chestnut can't deal with me at all. So, and he has a hard time revenge killing this thing if it's bulked up enough. He needs like Sigilyph, and that's about it. Maybe Specs Heliolisk can do it, but besides that, that's it. Everything else it just deals with. So, love Bulk Up Sheer Force, Adamant Max Attack, rest and speed to outspeed again, 0 speed Blastoise, and then the rest is put in Spadef. And I think it pairs really well with Zygarde because this thing really does break. I like Poison Jab a lot too because it's a good neutral hit as well if I want to just go for it. Whereas if I used Iron Head, which would still hit Clefairy but also hit, you know, like Lycanroc in the same one, that doesn't really matter too much. I have, you know, knockoff and close combat for Lycanroc. Poison Jab still hits like something like Blast is good for neutral damage, and especially Chestnut, which I like. So next up we have my Choice Scarf user, which is Chimpact, my Incineroar, coming off the bench this week. Now, again, there were 2 variations of this Pokemon that I had. I had Swordsdance, it's an EMZ, with Malicious Moonsault, and like a Flame Charge type of set, which was actually really good if you brought like Fat. If you brought like Fat Mons, this set was super good. But I really like Choice Scarf. Now, Choice Scarf is amazing because if he's not running Scarf Durant, Scarf Heliolisk, you know, boosting Lycanroc, you know, Scarf Sigilyph. I know some of those are probably never going to be Scarf, but I think Heliolisk and Durant are fair if you want to bring Scarf, especially because Durant, in Durant's case, he can just spam X Scissor versus me, right? For the most part, he can spam X Scissor versus me. That's another reason why Hariyama is really good because it's a bug resist that the team does not have. But Choice Scarf Incineroar does outspeed Durant, Heliolisk, knocks him out with Flare Blitz, Earthquake, respectively. I have Darkest Lariat over Knockoff because Darkest Lariat ignores the stat changes, so it ignores the stamina raise that Mudsdale has. It ignores defense raises that Sigilyph might have if it's Cosmic Power. Knock out Sigilyph, whatnot. And then U-turn, of course, for momentum. Intimidate's really clutch as well. I'm able to take like a +1 Accelerock from a Life Orb Lycanroc, knock it out with Earthquake. After that, U-turn giving me some momentum, enough speed to outspeed Lycanroc, as well as the, I believe I outspeed Lycanroc with this. Yeah, enough speed to outspeed Lycanroc, as well as, like I said, the majority of his team. And I really like Choice Scarf Incineroar because I think it gives me a lot of momentum, and it also eases like my switch into Durant. For example, if I have like Incineroar out versus Durant and Durant's -1, I can switch in on it. With Super Powers coming out, maybe predicting X Scissor as well if I want to go Hariyama. There's just some solid switchings I can do with Incineroar, and the fact that it's just so bulky, it just naturally comes in on Sigilyph as well. Like, the most Sigilyph can do is like a Life Orb Air Slash, which won't even knock out Incineroar after Stealth Rock. So that's just to tell you how bulky Incineroar is. But Choice Scarf Incineroar gives me a nice check to Pokemon like, again, I already named the offensive ones, Durant, Heliolisk, Lycanroc, but also is a Pokemon that can switch in on Chestnut, can come in on Marowak as well. It's dual stab, and deal with it with Darkest Lariat. Maybe I'll miss knockoff, but I really think the Darkest Lariat is a smarter one, just because of Mudsdale, and just because of the chance that he might bring Cosmic Power, like Toxic Orb Sigilyph with Psycho Shift, which is definitely a possibility. I think Toxic Orb is better than Flame Orb versus me, yeah, because I have Gutsmon potentially, and also Toxic Orb allows you to poison the Incineroar, which allows you to wear it down while also boosting your defenses. So if he doesn't expect Darkest Lariat, he's going to put in some work here. Next up we have Envy, my Roserade. Now originally I had like some sort of offensive one. Like I said, I built 2 teams and then I changed it up because I was like, I wasn't really liking this team. I actually had a Choice Scarf, Sheer Force, Tauros, which knocks out Durant 100%, and then Body Slam, Earthquake, Pursuit to weaken something like Marowak, since you should switch out fearing Earthquake, but it wasn't doing too much anyway. But originally I had like a Papa Berry offensive Technician one, and Hidden Power Flying, like 2-hit KO'd, Max HP, Marowak, after Rocks always, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Synthesis, Papa Berry, but I wanted Hazards, especially because it really supports Incineroar and Hariyama. Like I said, Hariyama does 87% minimum to a max defense, max HP Blastoise at +1, so with a Spike Up, gone. But I wanted Hazards. I wanted a Heliolisk switch in because that thing is a problem. Specs Heliolisk is a giant problem, and don't mind these EV spreads because I made it at level 100. Because I made the thing at level 100, it actually does make full use of these EVs. Right here it doesn't, but yeah, it makes full use of the EVs. So don't mind the fact that I'm missing some, at least right now. Anyway, don't mind that. The 28 here, and this is all. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so max HP 164 Spadef allows me to take on Specs Heliolisk. I have Synthesis with Black Sludge Recovery, so I can take it on. I have Technician, Hidden Power Flying, because again, I was really paranoid about Chestnut. I was really debating on if I wanted to run Hidden Power Fire to hit Durant, or Hidden Power Dark as well, because Life Orb Hidden Power Dark is actually something that could OHKO Marowak. Maybe I'd run Hidden Power Ghost over Hidden Power Dark, excuse me. But they both have their merits. But Hidden Power Flying from a Technician non-boosting one, this is annoying me. This is annoying me. I'm gonna make you level 100, bro. You're actually pissing me off. There you go. And this is looking at this is annoying me. There you go. Perfect. Make use of your stats, God. Okay, this is how it's actually gonna look. Because it was annoying me, sorry. But yeah, Spadef and HP allow me to take on like Heliolisk, which is a giant problem. Also gives me a switch into Blastoise and something that can also deal with Mudsdale. Max HP allows me to take Earthquake from a non-choice band Mudsdale, non-offensive, which I'm pretty sure you bring like a defensive Stealth Rocking variant versus me. 64 speed allows me to outspeed, I believe, Adamant Chestnut, which is something I wanted. Not that he'd run max, like he'd probably run Jolly Belly Drum if he ran it versus me, just because of my speed tiers. But I like outspeeding Adamant. I think that's really nice. And 28 defense plus 252 HP allows me to take 1 Scarf Durant's X Scissor. So, or Iron Head rather. Same thing. So, Hidden Power Flying is actually a solid 2-hit KO. That's why I ended up going for that. And I like the fact that Technician boosted Hidden Power Flying OHKO Chestnut. Again, I didn't want to give Chestnut any opportunity to belly drum up versus me. So, Natural Cure wasn't as useful, even though this is my initial Clefairy switching. And it could have Thunder Wave, I suppose. Natural Cure wasn't as useful, in my opinion, and I think I just need Spikes, Giga Drain, Hidden Power Flying. Again, Clef is a really big problem, especially because I don't have Sludge Bomb, but if I see Clef, I'm playing my Hariyama well. That's it. I'm going to play this Mon well. I'm going to save it to do it, because it does like 80% to Clef anyway with Poison Jab, puts in the range of literally every other one of my attacks. So, Spadef can run more Spadef as well, because Modest Heliolisk is a problem. I'm not 2-hit KO by Timid Heliolisk after recovery, but Modest can definitely 2-hit KO me. But I can run a little more Spadef if I decide it's the opportunity. But with Giga Drain recovery, I still outstall Specs Heliolisk into Giga Drain plus Synthesis. And a Spike means that I 2-hit KO with Giga Drain. So, well, depending on rolls, I do a lot of damage with Giga Drain. So I can always Synthesis up and then go back and forth between those two. But it's a solid switch into Chestnut as well if it's not offensive. Blastoise, Heliolisk, Clefairy, gets up spikes, can do some work, even Swallow. So Next up, we have Seismitoad. Now, I was looking at his team. Again, same thing. This is going to have perfect IVs because it's going to be level 100 when it's made, and it's going to have the hyper training, and then that just it still keeps the good IVs. So ignore that. But we have Hidden Power Flying Seismitoad. Now, Switzerland Seismitoad is really solid. It can knock out Marowak, Chestnut, Durant, Heliolisk, Mudsdale, Lycanroc, Sigilyph in the rain, and Swallow with some damage, Dragonair with a little bit of damage. Though I'm not sure if you bring Dragonair versus me, but I have Intimidate checked that as well as Hariyama, just natural bulk. So Switzerland Seismitoad, like for example, in the rain, the Modest Life Orb, Surf, Oko, Sigilyph does 100% minimum. Earth Power is, again, you guys know what it's good for. I have enough speed for Adamant Chestnut. I think it was worth it, at least in this mon, to make it faster than Adamant Chestnut, since that could be a problem. Again, Adamant Max Speed is the one I'm talking about, or around there, around that point. But yeah, if I see a Blastoise, I gotta weaken it. If I see Clefairy, I want to weaken it. Originally it was Sludge Wave over Hidden Power Flying, but I really like Hidden Power Flying because I like the ability to not have to stop when I'm set up. Like I set up the rain, then I knock out Chestnut, I knock out everything else, and try and get a little sweep with this guy going. That's the plan. Rest is put into HP. It allows me to take like an Scissor from Durant, but Durant's definitely a problem. Choice Scarf is an issue, though Life Orb is a little bit scarier as well. But both of them are issues, and hopefully I can deal with them, and you'll see what I mean. But Seismitoad, Swissum I thought was a lot better offensively and gives me a win condition as well. I can put in a lot of work, like late game sweeper. So last but not least, we have Mesprit. So again, Durant's a giant problem. So I have 2v2 HP, 172 defense, plus defense nature, with a Tanga Berry and Hidden Power Fire. That means that I take Savage Spin Out from Durant, I take Adamant Life Orb X Scissor, I can take a +1 X Scissor as well, but I can't take a +1 Savage Spin Out. But I think that Life Orb is a little bit better versus me, or Scarf. Those are my two, in my opinion, those are the two better ones versus me. I think Life Orb because it could just mix some moves and does not care, especially versus whatever fat I bring. And then Scarf because it's a great revenge killer versus my team. So Tanga Berry, Mesprit, goal is to catch the Durant, knock it out with Hidden Power Fire. I have Stealth Rock, U-Turn, Psychic. I have 64 special attack investment, so I have an 85% chance to 3-hit KO max HP Mudsdale. If it does have rest, obviously you can go for rest, but this is also switching to Mudsdale. This is also my pivot from Sigilyph. Like if Sigilyph comes out, I'm not going hard instant or ever. I'm going Mesprit first to pivot in on potentially Air Slash or anything like that, and then U-turn from there. That's like the game plan. Again, same thing. You know, I have the perfect ones. This is just what it shows at level 50. But yeah, just Psychic plus HP Fire. It's decently hard. I was debating on what set I wanted to run. I was debating on if I wanted to run like a Healing Wish set as well. But I think that this is a little bit better. And it ended up like in practice, it ended up doing what I needed to do. Pivot in, get up rocks. I mean, when they brought Marowak, it was a liability. Like I was either able to get out Psychic damage or get up rocks and then trade Mesprit for it. But the only times I ever did that was when games I didn't see Marowak plus Durant. If I saw Durant, I would never sack my Mesprit. I would lead off with something that could actually deal with both, which would be like Incineroar. Incineroar is a good lead versus Squad. Same thing with Zygarde. But yeah, Incineroar is a great lead just because it gives momentum and, you know, it gives me Intimidate and whatnot. But the idea of it is, again, take on Durant. You know, it can eat hits from Chestnut as well. Easily 2 KOs Chestnut. But 64 special attack investment, like I said, gives me an 85% chance of 2 KO, 3 KO Mudsdale, as well as just smack Pokemon with the Psychic decently hard. But that's the team for this week. I hope you guys are excited. For the most part, this Seismitoad was actually like a Rindo Berry set with Hidden Power Flying, but I was like, ask her that. And then this was the same exact Mesprit set, but I like this version a lot more. Let me know your thoughts on the team. Of course, you guys can check out my opponent, MrTalent. His link will be down below. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.